Hey folks, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to shoot this kind of fun video talking about 5 albums that make me smile or always put me in a good mood. And a lot of it has to do with the time period that all these albums kind of came out. I was real young when a lot of these records came out, early teens, mid-teens. Some of these records might surprise you, but again, a lot of it has to do with when I heard them, and then when I listen to them to this day, they still always put a smile on my face. So some of these might seem a little bit odd, but anyway, here you go. So for number 5, all right, for number 5, we got the first Devo record, Are We Not Men? And I remember listening to this at a buddy's place, and he put this thing on, and it was just so weird and so quirky. I would have been, I don't know, maybe 12, maybe 13, and just listening to these guys. And man, these guys are different, and the way they looked, and the yellow outfits, and everything else. And the music was just so stripped down, but so cool. Uncontrollable Urge, Jocko Homo, Mongoloid. It just had songs, and the remake of Satisfaction was so freaking cool. Man, to this day, when I listen to this record, just puts a huge smile on my face, brings back some amazing memories. What a fantastic album. The first Devo record, Are We Not Men? Well, my number 4 is really controversial. This record came out at a time that they were smashing these records. Okay, I'm talking, yes, disco. Disco sucks. Well, I love this record, and yes, I am a big fan of 70s disco, but the king of that era, of that disco genre, man, is a Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, of course. The Bee Gees were on fire. I mean, I love these songs when I was 10, 11. To this day, I still love these songs. I mean, at the end of the day, come on, these are well-crafted pop songs with amazing hooks and amazing melodies. The riff to Saturday Night Fever, I mean, come on, that is catchy as hell. How deep is your love, More Than a Woman, If I Can't Have You. All these songs are just, I mean, they're so well done. The musicianship, the playing, I mean, the harmonies, it's just, these are just good songs, okay? And I'm not going to fault them if they're disco songs. They're just great songs. So that's my number 4 Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. Number 3. Now, this would have been around 1985, and this record cemented my absolute fandom of Prince. And I'm talking about Purple Rain. Remember going to the movie, getting the soundtrack, every cut. I mean, it's a freaking masterpiece. The title cut, of course, but Computer Blue, Darling Nikki, Beautiful Ones, Take Me With You. It's just filled with really well crafted pop songs. There's some heavy rock stuff in there. Great guitar playing. I mean, the guy can rip. Just really, really well done songs. And to this day, when I throw that record on, man, it just puts a big smile on my face. I mean, still to this day, I'm a huge Prince fan, and yeah, man, you can't go wrong with Purple Rain. Number 2. This is one of my favorite records of all time, and this was the only album that these guys put out. And they built an entire career off of this record. Now, there was a second record, but it wasn't the full band, so I'm not even going to talk about that. But the record I'm talking about is the Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks. Man, I cut my teeth on this record when I was first learning how to play guitar. This was like the first record that if all you knew was a little 5 chord, not even a full bar chord, you could play every song on this record. And I just love it. I mean, Problems, what a Bodies, No Feelings, Submission. I mean, Pretty Vacant. Just the whole record is so cool, and I am such a fan of the album, the tone on the guitar tone on this record. Steve Jones is, for a guy who's just learning how to play or could barely play, he just has a feel. There's certain guitar players that just have a feel and a sound that just kind of grabs you, and Steve Jones for me is one of those guys. And man, this, yeah, I love the Pistols. And yeah, this is one of my top albums, period, is Nevermind the Bullocks. Absolutely killer record. All right, my number one, and this is a artist I've never talked about on this channel, but early on, I would have been probably about 13, and just the visual image of this guy was so cool, and his music was just so different. I'm talking about Gary Numan and the album Replicas. So this is before Cars. And I remember buying this record and just being blown away. And to this day, I'm still blown away by some of those songs on this record. You know, the Mock Men, you know, Me I Disconnect from You, Our Friends Electric, Down in the Park. You know, this his voice, he's got this character in his voice, that alienation, you know, and when you're a young teenager, you know, you really respond to that whole alienation vibe, you know, trying to fit in and all that kind of, you know, the weird things that you go through in that time of your life. But you know, it was just a perfect marriage of the time in my life and listening to these songs. And man, just I just love this record. Always brings back memories, and still to this day, very, very cool. So those are my 5 albums that make me smile. If you've got 5 albums that make you smile, please throw those in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. And we'll catch you next time. Cheers.